Good evening, everybody, and welcome to SimSpeed's broadcast of the iRacing official Rallycross series here for the Australian-New Zealand SOF. My name is Brock Cadday. Here tonight with me is Mr. Cameron Dance, ready for a great bit of racing of Rallycross here at Sonoma Raceway. Cam, I'm excited. What about you?
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. It's hopefully going to be a bit cleaner than what we saw last week at Lucas Oil Raceway. But yeah, Sonoma, very interesting layout, very different in the way that it's sort of got an uphill section and less jumps and all that sort of stuff. So it's going to be really interesting to see who's going to come out on top and what the drivers are going to have to deal with, really.
Well, that's it, and we were commenting on this before the broadcast, that Sonoma's quite different to some of the other tracks the drivers have attacked earlier on in the season, like Daytona and Atlanta, which are very technical tracks, whereas this layout doesn't have as much of that, really, of your chicanes and that sort of thing, but is very hard to control the car through a lot of the long turns and making sure the car stays turned in, which will be really interesting to see how some overtakes happen as we look at Rebecca Pauline now, and just the long right-handed turn there. Cars are able to slip up and under and try and make it up the hill there if they can get the momentum and have the right gearing, and that's what it's all going to be about in these races, is taking the opportunities while you can to sneak it up the inside and get those passes done with some interesting tarmac to dirt transitions as well on this track.
Yeah, absolutely, especially on that dirt section, because you don't want to go in too quick and overshoot the corner, but you don't want to go too slow through it and lose time. It's going to be a real balancing act with trying to gain time but not lose it at the same time through that whole entire dirt section, with the way that it just falls away from itself.
Well, that's exactly it, and I think this track is going to be different in terms of the racecraft that we've seen in previous rounds, and I think it's going to be more about patience than it is going to be about absolutely throwing it down the inside and trying to get that move done. It'll be about waiting for mistakes or trying to take advantage of someone taking a different line to what you do and getting that run on them, and that's what I'm excited to see. And obviously Rallycross being a series that is all about your driving style, really going to be interesting to see how these drivers tackle a different circuit. And I think that point you made about the uphill section is really important tonight, with getting that momentum to continue on and get a good lap in. As we see here, Rebecca Pauline over a second faster than the rest of the field right now, which is absolutely immense pace from her.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, recently left race clutch, so has the pace, and has obviously shown in previous rounds as well that she definitely has some very quick pace. So probably going to be the person to beat tonight, but as past few weeks have gone, she's actually gone quicker, but as past weeks have shown, anything can happen, so have to wait and see what happens. But we've got Cohen on screen at the moment.
Have a look here at Cohen. He's just come across the line to finish his lap there, and he's done a 41.666. So what I'm loving here is the competition is actually awesome from third place down. We have a look here, you've got Reese Gardner, Simon Ferris, Bradley Sanders, Cohen Attard, Darren McKenzie, all within 3/10 of each other. So that is amazing to see. That's the competition we come out. And I mean, look down the list from third place here with me, Cam. Like, there's 10ths separating these guys, not seconds. So I'm really excited to see. Just had Robert Northway pip Reese Gardner by 100th of a second. So that is the competition we come here to see. And while Rebecca Pauline looks very strong, our mid-pack battle tonight is looking like it's going to be very exciting for us as commentators and all of you viewers out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from third place all the way down to 10th, it's pretty much a second, well, not even a second actually, separating those drivers. So it's getting really close and really entertaining, I reckon. I mean, probably going to see a few moves being thrown here, there and everywhere to get themselves into the transfer spots, but for the most part, it should really be a clean race, I reckon.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. And just looking at the laps being set, it looks like everyone has finished setting their laps here. Corey Preston not setting a qualifying lap here. So I don't believe we've seen Corey in the past few weeks, but he's come out tonight to give it a try, and no lap set. So either mistakes made or wasn't very happy with his laps and escaped. So he'll be starting from dead last. But we'll look up the top here and just have a quick look through our field since we've got about 45 seconds left in this session. Rebecca Pauline out front by 7/10 from Daniel Aish, first and second. Robert Northway a further half a second back from Daniel there in third. but this is where the competition level raises. We've got Northway 3rd, Reese Gardner 5th, Simon Ferris, Reese Gardner 4th, Simon Ferris 5th, Bradley Sanders 6th, Cohen Attard 7th, and look at the competition there, a couple of tenths. That's nothing separating those guys. That is going to be great to see, particularly if they make it into the final and give us a real good show on pace there. And the times spread out a little bit more, but I still think that in the heat of battle, those guys down the bottom there will have a real good chance of at least getting into the consolation and make it into that final.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one thing to qualify well, it's another thing to race. I mean, if the drivers ahead of you are scraping for position left, right, and centre, it gives you every opportunity if you've qualified further down the field to possibly gain some positions if they do take each other out or continue fighting and get involved in the battle. So, again, that dirt section is probably going to be the whole thing we're going to have to watch, as it's probably going to bring the best out of the drivers, but we'll have to wait and see.
Well, that's it. The dirt section is always what I guess distinguishes the real fast drivers from some of the slower drivers, is that technique they have to keep the car moving and fast while controlling the oversteer that you're getting. So these cars obviously slide around a bit, giving a bit of handbrake here and there. So I'm curious to see just how well this race goes. We've seen Rebecca Pauline in the last few weeks. Whenever she gets in the lead, she's gone. We don't see her again. So it'll be interesting to see how she goes. Her starts have been really great, but each start is different. So we're getting ready now to go green. The whole field is there, ready to rock and roll. We've got 7 cars to begin with in this first heat. 5 laps, 1 joker. We are green now. Fairly even start from Pauline and Northway. In fact, a very good start from Northway there. Oh, a little bit of contact there. He's turned down on Pauline, so that is going to... And we've got chaos in the back there. Emerton spun around there and nearly on his roof. Oh, this is exactly what we didn't want to see here tonight, Cam. So, looks like everybody has gotten back going, but unfortunately, just that closing up after the start gate has caused some incidents.
Yeah, it's a really, really difficult section, and that was sort of caused by Northway. I think everybody just saw Northway having a moment, and everybody just sort of panicked and wasn't quite sure what to do. I mean, you had both Neidhart, Emerton, and Ferris all involved in that, as well as Northway, so that's taken a couple of drivers out of this already, but Rebecca Pauline's actually had Cohen Attard go by in that lap, so battle is on for the lead well and truly at this point.
That's it. So Pauline is taking her joker now, which is a very smart move, because this is going to get her out in front of Attard, and she can just keep banging in the laps. That contact with Northway did put her back a little bit, but now that she's out front, I dare say she'll just be able to put in those laps that'll jump Attard when he comes around to taking his joker. So that's a well planned out move there. And just looking back a bit further in the pack here, I can see the timing is quite close. We've actually got Emerton and Booth at the very back here. And Booth has just made contact with Emerton and sent him up the hill there. So, we forgot Neidhart and who's that there as well?
Ferris, I believe.
Yeah, it's all going on at the back of the field here. What is going on here? Sonoma has brought out some absolutely crazy racing here tonight. We're only on lap 2.
Yeah, it's been an interesting start so far. I mean, Ferris actually did it on his own up the hill there. He actually managed to get a little bit too much rotation and end up in the wall, and then obviously the contact further behind with Emerton, and I believe it was Neidhart, just threw that whole entire section of battling up in the...
Yeah, that's it. So it's just it's a bit unfortunate for him, really, having that happen. And now the whole field is rather spread out. So we're currently looking at Rebecca Pauline, who, as I suspected, is just out front, pushing hard and doing her thing, doing what she does best in these rallycross races. A very talented driver in these cars, and absolutely setting great laps out the front there as she comes around to begin lap 4 or 5 here. I don't think anyone can really challenge her here. Cohen Attard in second place is 5.3 seconds behind, and Northway in third, 7.8. So, yeah, right now, there's no real challenges, and the rest of the field is fairly spread out here.
It's obviously those incidents have played a bit of a part in the way that the field's now a little bit more spread out. Say if that the closest battle would be between Northway and Attard at the moment, with Northway trying to hunt down Attard, I'm pretty sure I just about saw Attard roll over nearly roll over as he came off the dirt section there, which was pretty wild as he got up on two wheels.
Northway's just taken his joker, so we'll see where he comes out in relation to Attard. A lot closer. This battle could be well and truly on this last lap here, as Northway's right on the back of Attard here, so this is to improve their position in the final. He's going to try and cut up and under him here, won't quite get it done. Attard's got a better run up that hill there, which is exactly what we talked about, getting that momentum to continue propelling yourself. But for now, Northway will stay behind. Got to get a very good run here onto this tarmac section and capitalise on that momentum and that acceleration that these rallycross cars have. Oh, hasn't been quite able to do it. Runs a little bit wide there, trying to get this car to turn in, but just using a bit too much handbrake and sliding it a bit too much. I think Attard might have this second place wrapped up here. We'll see over the jump as Northway grabs a little bit of that tyre bundle. And here we go. Second and third will go to Attard and Northway, as Northway does a little bit of a spin there across the line just to celebrate the podium, or maybe out of frustration not being able to catch Attard.
Yeah, it was really, really close. Nearly had him in the end, but just didn't quite have the momentum through that dirt section, unfortunately. So cost him a bit of time, but fourth place will go to Devin Booth by the looks of it. Fifth to Simon Ferris, and rounding out the field will be Dennis Neinhardt.
Interesting little race there. So yeah, Cam ran us through then. We had Pauline, Northway, Booth, Attard, Ferris, Neidhart, and Emerton, our 7-car field. And now in this next 7-car field for Heat 2 to decide most of the places in the final, we've got Daniel Aish, Reese Gardner, Bradley Sanders, Darren McKenzie, Mitchell Wiley, Sterling Christensen, and Corey Preston rounding out the 7 there. I'm hoping that we'll see cleaner racing in this heat. That was a bit messy and unfortunately spread out the field quite a lot. So as we're getting ready for the green here, we've got the red up on the lights there, and we've gone green. So watch the start here. Gardner, good start on the outside. Sanders, brilliant start. Gardner has to. And Corey Preston has rear-ended the number 6 car there. What has gone on here? Aish on his roof. Oh my goodness, and we've got the number 6 car going backwards across the track. What is going on? Guys, lap 1. Oh my goodness.
This is just madness.
They want to make it to the end of the race, don't they? I would have thought so, but we've got Sanders out in front who had a brilliant start. We're going to look at a replay of this start because that was just immense. So Corey Preston has come through there and I think has given a bit of a shove, and then we've got another bit of contact which sent that 6 car across the track and in front of 2 more of our drivers, being Darren McKenzie. So Cam, I'm lost for words. That was just nuts, purely nuts.
Yeah, I think we're on the same boat as each other at the moment, but yeah, at the moment Bradley Sanders from P3 is leading this race from Reese Gardner, Daniel Aish and Mitchell Wiley. So Aish has actually managed to recover from that nearly rollover on lap 1 there, and actually ending up on the fence, so probably carrying a little bit of damage, but he's actually not doing too bad for himself. Wiley on the final spot for the transfer in the final transfer spot, but Christensen and Preston not too far behind, so might want to get a bit of a hurry up, otherwise he might find himself in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, that's it, and I think this that start has shaken the field up just a little bit, but yeah, Preston runs just a little bit wide there. He must be struggling with a bit of damage. I think he went nose first into a concrete wall, so I imagine there's going to be some steering damage there as he takes the joker, try and get past Mitchell Wiley ahead of him, and secure that last transfer spot. He's going to come out just about side by side here. We'll see if he goes for an absolute lunge here, and he has down the inside, and I'll make it work for now, blocking Wiley a little bit, just a sneaky slide up the track there to block him. Well done by Preston, and that puts him up into 4th place.
Yeah, really, really good driving there.
Mate.
Yeah, he's doing really, really well at the moment. He's looking to possibly gain a little bit more, but the battle for the lead is currently on between Sanders and also Gardner, as Sanders goes for the joker, Gardner opting not to. So this is going to be interesting to see where Reese comes out in relation, as just see to the background, Aish clipping the tyre bundle there as well, and Wiley's also taken his joker, so starting to see people using that joker to their advantage and possibly using a bit of strategy.
Yeah, well, that's what we love about that joker life, is it just adds that extra little layer of strategy on top of what is essentially a sprint race. So using that joker, particularly in close races, which we've seen in Daytona in particular, can really benefit you. But we have a look now and just see Sanders and Gardner out front doing quite well, but Aish is starting to hunt down those two there, with Mitchell Wiley having used that Joker not far behind. So this could be an interesting battle for the very end here, as now Aish uses that Joker and nearly gets rear-ended by Wiley. That was very awkward there. And at the front here, Reese Gardner has used his Joker and has come out in the lead. So very good move there by Reese on what is now the last lap of this race to use that Joker. And we'll see how he goes if he can keep that lead. But that was a very well-timed Joker as we're talking about that strategy.
Yeah, it really was it. So that'll put him on for a front row start at this rate if he can hold on to that position. But now Sanders is actually coming under a bit of pressure from Aish. So possibly going to see him move, although it might just be a little bit too late for Aish with these last few calls.
Yeah, that's it. So it looks like Aish is going to have a real good go at it, but he might not be able to get it done here. Reese Gardner will come across the line and take the win for this second heat, and then we have Sanders second and Aish third after rolling in on his roof. So I think if I was Aish, I'd be pretty happy with clinching that result after what was an extremely crazy start.
Yeah, absolutely. Crazy start, but Sterling Christensen in 5th and Corey Preston in 6th, as we've now got the consolation. So in the consolation, we've got Simon Ferris, Sterling Christensen, Dennis Neidhart, Corey Preston, Luke Emerton, and Darren McKenzie. So most of those outside of the top 4 in this race, and it'll be interesting to see who goes through. Only 2 go through, so gonna be a better of keeping your nose clean at this point, I reckon.
Yeah, I'm not confident on that. After the last 2 heats, I'm a little bit scared for what this one holds, but I'm sure we're going to see hopefully some intense racing, but good clean racing, as we've got the red light now, so we're getting ready to go green here at Sonoma. Green flag, and they are off and going. Preston with them. Great start. Oh, don't do it, Corey! Oh, that was so close there. Oh, he's rear-ended there. Spun the 12 around. A similar issue to last, but that's probably the least carnage we've seen in the start, so that's unfortunate to see there. But Preston at the back of this pack now here. Emerton comes over the jump, but it's already on for 2nd and 3rd with McKenzie in 2nd place here. A brilliant start up from 6th now, and fighting for those top 2 spots to get into the consolation.
Yeah, absolutely. He's done a really good job at actually getting a few positions off the start there. He's actually been lucky not to get involved in that incident that Preston had with Christensen. So if he can hold on to that position, he's coming under a bit of pressure from Neidhart, so I'm just struggling to English. He's going to have to hold on to that. He's got a couple of laps to do it, but be interesting to see what happens. Does he get him really sideways? Just about gets T-boned by Neidhart there, and now he's going to go for the Joker. So this is going to be interesting to see where he comes out in relation.
Yeah, that was very close there. I'm not going to lie to you, but it looks like he's gotten that position for now. Emerton's going to throw it down the inside here and get that move done. As Neidhart goes quite wide there. Might actually get the run on Emerton up the hill here, and there you go. This is this momentum we were talking about that is critical up the hill, and look at that. Neidhart has gotten that position back. That was a great move from him, using that outside line to his advantage and getting back around Emerton. That's exactly what we were talking about earlier. So now this is going to be interesting to see how this race pans out with the Jokers. We've had a couple of drivers, Emerton and McKenzie, already take theirs. Neidhart still has not. He's quite close to McKenzie, so there could definitely be a change of position there with the Joker. And again, it's a 6-lap race here, 1 Joker. Only the top 2 will go through to the feature, as Preston uses his Joker as well. Might get past Emerton here. He's going to absolutely set it, and contact in a straight line there, sending Emerton wide. And that will mean Corey Preston gets that spot. It has not been the cleanest of races for Mr. Preston.
Hasn't actually, in fact, 2 races so far, so needs to kind of clean it up a little bit if he wants to try and make it through to the feature. He's got 2 more cars to pass ahead of him, although be interesting to see what sort of pace he's going to have in relation to the 2 ahead of it.
That's it. I imagine that car is going to have quite a bit of damage now after the contact with Emerton and then the contact from earlier on in this race. So he looks like he's doing okay, but maybe struggling just a little bit. But heading back up the front here, Simon Ferris has checked out. He's gone for now. Mackenzie's getting a little bit far. He's pulling away from Neidhart, but that Joker lap will be critical in the end here. We're still waiting for him to take that, and we're on lap 4 now. So only a couple of laps to go after this. Not long left to do it, but be interested to see if Neidhart and Mackenzie come out together, just how they weigh up when they're side by side on track.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mackenzie was actually a little bit quicker than Neidhart that last lap, so possibly a little bit of pace advantage as Neidhart actually goes for the Joker now, so Gonna see where he comes out in relation to the Mackenzie, as he's actually come out well and truly ahead, so he'll slot into second and take that transfer.
Yeah, this is the battles we'll be watching at the moment. And Mackenzie hit the tyre bundle and has gone quite wide there. I'd imagine he'd have a bit of damage there. Those tyre bundles wreak havoc. That battle I was really hoping to see between Mackenzie and Neidhart may not happen now, as we're on the second last lap here of this consolation, and I don't know if you have the pace to bring it back up to Neidhart there. We're going to have a quick look at that replay and see exactly what happened to Mackenzie, and he's hit the handbrake there and just absolutely walloped that tyre bundle. Admittedly saved that car very well, didn't he, Cam, to get it going again?
Yeah, he actually did. Obviously, the advantage of these cars is that they are all-wheel drive, so you can sort of get away with going a bit sideways and then just standing on the...
Yeah, that's it. So he did quite well to get it spun around and control it, but unfortunately, that's not going to do enough for him to make it into that top two. So now he's got to rely on Ferris or Neidhart making a mistake, but they have both driven fairly flawless races and both have relatively undamaged cars, to say, looking at them both, which is, well, something to, is an achievement for the races we've been seeing tonight here at Sonoma. So we'll have a look at Simon Ferris now, as he's coming across the jump now to complete this consolation and secure his spot in that final 10 for the night. He's come across and he will take that first place, and Neidhart will follow him soon with that second place there. So we have our last two into the consolation race.
Yeah, unfortunately, looks... Oh, Preston on the wall with a massive shunt. Not actually going to cross the line either. Oh, no, he actually is as he gets back on four wheels, but I think that car's going to be well and truly damaged. So, unfortunately, Preston, Christensen, Edmonton, and also Mackenzie not going to make it through to the feet.
Well, the competition is quite high here. I'll admit I was honestly hoping to see just a little bit more hard racing and not crashing, but that's all right. Rallycross is a fiercely competitive discipline in motorsport, but we'll have a look at the grid now for our final here tonight. Rebecca Pauline and Reese Gardner first and second, Robert Northway third, Bradley Sanders fourth, Devin Booth fifth, Daniel Aish sixth, Cohen Attard seventh, Mitchell Wiley 8th, Simon Ferris 9th, and Dennis Neidhart will round out the 10 in the final here tonight. They're getting ready. I can feel I'm feeling nervous about this one too, Cam. I'm hoping that it's going to be good, but I'm not hopeful. Here we have a look. The red light has gone up, ready for the green. Green flag. I think there's a jump here. What the? Northway absolutely jumped that start, so he will surely get a penalty for that. He's gone for now, but that is the cleanest start we've seen from the rest of the field all night long. Pauline leading the rest of the field here at the moment from Reese Gardner. Northway taken a joker as well there. We've got someone in the back there on the wall. That was one of our forwards, was just tapped the wall there, but has kept going on. This is good to see. So far, no big incidents. And we've got the two teammates in Cohen Attard and Daniel Aish. We're battling on track there for a second. Oh, Aish has gotten it up the back from Sanders there. Oh, no. And Attard has given it to Sanders back. Oh, no.
The rest of the field has just absolutely cleaned Sanders up there after being pretty much turned by both same car.
That could have been teammates helping teammates there. This is... Oh my goodness, there is some very hard racing, to put it nicely, in this race here tonight, but they've all sorted themselves out for now. We've got Daniel Aish and Simon Ferris together on track here, and just behind we've got a nice little battle going with Cohen Attard and Mitchell Wiley as well, so that's really good to see. Pauline, well, she's checked out for now. Robert Northway is falling back through the pack a bit, so I'm not sure he's... And Attard has nearly spun as well.
Wiley's bundle.
Oh my goodness gracious me, it is all going on at the moment. Oh, I don't know where to look in this final. And we'll have I'll tell you what, we'll have a look at Ferris and Aish, because they're nice and close together here, fighting for 4th and 5th at the moment. And just up ahead here, we have Reese Gardner as well. So Gardner has elected to take his joker, while Aish and Ferris will go through to take another lap.
Yeah, it's also actually looking like Northway's pulled over and escaped, so here's the race well and truly over. I know he probably would have had a fairly large penalty, but yeah, 2 penalties, because he actually botched up one of the previous lap and ended up going through the end of the joker, so really, really unfortunate. But Ferris has actually got past Aish in the dirt section there.
Yeah, he's doing a good job there, working his way through the pack. That's actually put him up into 3rd position now, I believe. And that'll have Aish and Ada, the teammates, back together again. Aish taking his joker now to try and jump back past Ferris, so this is definitely not over yet, guys. And Ferris has not taken his joker either, so right now we need to be seeing Aish putting in some very good laps. As we look as well, the teammate of Aish, Ada, in the background there, fighting with Ferris as they make contact through turn 1 there. Very little side-to-side bump, no harm, no foul sort of thing going there. They're still side-by-side coming up the hill, still side-by-side at the moment. Adard is going to try to take it around the outside, very wide line. Ferris clips the tyre bundle. They're still just about side by side. Oh, a little bit more contact there. That is a big skid, Adard. Oh no, Adard's going to try and take the position. Nearly contact again there. Ferris, oh, these guys are playing for keeps in this final.
It's all going off for the minor position. It's just inside the top 5. Ferris is going to take that position from Adard entirely. So he will now be on the charge towards Aish, but looking like Aish is actually catching Gardner now, so could be having a battle on for the final spots on the podium.
And we're only halfway through this race, so like, we've had this much action and we're only halfway through it all. So, excuse me, the top 5 have all taken their joker laps, so they're all cleansed, if you will, of their strategy option. Now it just comes down to pure pace. In qualifying, we saw that Cohen Adard was a little bit slower than Reece Gardner, but not by much. So these guys are pretty equal on pace. So I'll be interested to see how they go in the race. And right now, Gardner looks a little bit sloppy off that jump. His car is right up in the air. Adard very clean, very nice over the jump there. And he's come across the line there in, in 5th place.
Yeah, really good driving there from those two. Yeah, looking marginal between Gardner and Aish though. It's so close. I mean, Gardner was a little bit slower and Aish was a little bit quicker that last lap, but the consistency between the two is just that close that there's almost no difference. It's going to cause a mistake to check.
Yeah, well that's it. And I think that Aish he's just clipped the tyre bundle there. He's done that a couple of times. He's really trying to use the track to his advantage and get every little last inch out of it. And Gardner's doing well to just stay consistent. He's not hitting too many tyre barriers, just keeping that car nice and clean, keeping the lines tight, and keeping that car fast. So Aishi's the momentum, he's lost a little bit of it on the uphill there and come out of that skid, that drift, if you will, a little bit too early to get that momentum working. So be interested to see here in the background. You do have Simon Ferris as well working his way towards it, so we could have an interesting battle here in the last few laps.
Yeah, absolutely. It's looking really, really close, and those differences in pace is, yeah, it's really, really hard to judge who's going to be quicker and who's not, but that battle for second really, really close now between Aish and Gardner.
Yeah, well, Aish in that last sector, last half of the track, I should say, he's stronger than Gardner, and Gardner has been a little bit stronger through this first sector, although Aish looking very strong there as he comes up the hill and actually got quite a good run compared to Gardner out of there. So compared to his last lap, very good. Trying to get under him, but won't be able to make it work there. Maybe throw it down the inside here. Gardner gets the back end out just a little bit, but gets a great run on the tarmac there. Barely any wheel spin. Again, Aish taking a very tight line, trying to make the most of that acceleration option, but it's just not quite working for him as we come across the line now. It'll be 2 laps to go.
Yeah, it's gonna be laps are counting down, so he's running out of time to try and get the position, but Aish is gonna look up the inside, nearly not quite. Gardner's just gonna have enough momentum.
And he'll keep it there for now, but this is, Aish these two are trading blows in terms of their strengths and weaknesses on this track. One lap, one stronger through the first sector and the other stronger through the second sector, and they can't decide who's going to be the fastest over a whole lap. So Aish, again, a similar distance back now to what he was on that last lap, and Gardner just keeping him behind him, not dropping enough time to let him get by, and just keeping enough time to make sure that Aish can't have a big lunge in this last lap. He's doing a very good job here, the Southpaw racer. As they come through the turn 1 here for the very last lap. Aish is going to go up the inside here, try and make it work. Gardner's got the ideal line. Oh, and he's whacked the tyre barrier. That has ruined his momentum there. And unless Gardner makes a mistake, will probably ruin his chances of going for that second spot.
Yeah, really, really will. It's cost him quite a bit as Pauline's just crossed the line to take the win in the feature race, but Gardner's probably just going to go off, and Aisha's actually spun it! And Ferris is involved as well.
Ferris got him right in the back there and spun him around, gave him a helping hand. And I don't know where Ferris ended up in all of that. He was in the Joker. He's come back on track. Oh, there's going to be contact again there. Oh, no, they've made contact again. Wiley is an innocent victim of that. Oh, what is going on?
Aisha's gone down the actual racetrack.
Oh, he's done with this race. He has had enough. That is... Oh, what bad luck. And Attard has come through to take third place. Aisha's teammate in all of this, who's in 5th place, after all that has come through to take a podium. Oh, I did not see that coming.
I don't think anyone did. That was just such an unexpected finish in every single way possible.
I'm speechless. I don't know how to approach that race. That was immense. Like, Aish got served from behind by Ferris and spun round, and then the way Ferris came back on the track gave Aish another serving, and that put them both out, and Aish just decided he's done with this race. I've had enough. See you later. He's gone. And Ferris comes across the line, and Attard is the lucky man in all of this and comes through to third. Wiley and Neidhart and Sanders all take advantage of it too and get another position up after they were quite a ways back, of course, in this race. Oh my goodness. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say.
That makes probably 3 of us, including Jay. So, yeah, really, really interesting race. But we'll go through the order. So, Rebecca Pauline taking the win from Reese Gardner in second, third to Kawanatard after that unbelievable finish on that final lap. 4th to Mitchell Wiley, 5th Dennis Neidhart, 6th Bradley Sanders, 7th goes to Simon Ferris, 8th Devin Booth, 9th Daniel Aish, and rounding out the field at Robert Northway.
Holy moly! Yeah, wow! What a lot of races tonight. We saw some crazy racing in those first few heats, and then that final heat looked like it was going pretty well. And all of a sudden, just in though we had Sanders got thrown around on that first lap, and then in that last seconds of the race, it all went haywire for those guys, which was just crazy, but very exciting, which is what we've come to expect from Rallycross, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's Rallycross at the end of the day. There's drama pretty much at every single corner on every single lap. So, yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting to see what next week brings and what whether we're going to possibly see some cleaner racing, possibly more carnage. We don't really know at this point. Atlanta short is next, so going to be good to be back at the Oval.
That's it. And Atlanta showed us at the long circuit we saw a few weeks ago had some great racing. So I'm very keen for that. We'll round out this broadcast here, I think. So what a race, what a set of races that was here. So for the rest of the week here with SimSpeed, tune in at 9 o'clock on the iRacing Esports Network, and we will have the Sprint Series, Geodesic Racing Sprint Series Australasia live for you from Sebring International Raceway. Then tomorrow night on the SimSpeed Network, SimSpeed TV, we have the Formula 3 Championship from 9:15. Friday night, we have AOSC, the Australian Online Supercars Championship from 9:45, AED ST, and then Saturday night, the Major Series is back on SimSpeed. So we will be watching the Daytona 500 from 5:45 Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Cam, thanks for jumping in for Rallycross again. I'm really keen for next week. And to all of our viewers out there, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in about 20 minutes for SSA.